Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we hear so much about what the latest AI tools can do, right? But today, let's flip that question around. What should they be doing for us? We're going to dive into a framework for building a life that's enhanced by AI, not one that's totally dependent on it. And this whole idea was sparked by a really great piece from AI for Regular Women that starts with, well, a super simple human moment.
Okay, so it all kicks off with this. Picture this. An author is brainstorming with her daughter. They kind of hit a creative wall. You know how that goes. And the mom's first instinct? Hey, let's just ask an AI. But what her daughter says next, it just stops her dead in her tracks. It was a total wake-up call.
And boom, that's the heart of it all. In that one little moment, she realized just how easy it is for us to just default to technology, even when what's really needed is something totally different. You know, things like shared thinking, a bit of patience, and just plain old human connection.
So, that one little story, it perfectly sets up what we're talking about today. The real goal here isn't to just replace our own brains, our own creativity with AI. No way. It's about using these tools to boost our own abilities while staying, well, fundamentally and unapologetically human.
And that brings us to the big dilemma, right? The one we all face every single time we open up ChatGPT or Claude or any of these amazing tools. It's like we're standing at a fork in the road, and the little choice we make every single time we use it, that's what defines our entire relationship with this technology.
So here's the question you've got to ask yourself every single time. Is this tool helping me think better, or is it just thinking for me? It sounds simple, but that difference is absolutely crucial, because it's the difference between you being in control of the tech or the tech being in control of you.
Okay, so you can see the two paths laid out so clearly here. On one side, you've got AI as enhancement. That's where AI is your partner, right? It's crunching information faster, spitting out new options, handling all the boring routine stuff. But on the other side, you've got AI as replacement. And that's where it just becomes a crutch. It starts to dull our own critical thinking, and yeah, just like in that story at the beginning, it can totally get in the way of real human connection.
All right, so knowing these two paths exist is the first step. But how do we actually make sure we stay on the right one? How do we do it consciously? Well, let's dig into some practical guideposts for a more human-centered way of doing things.
And listen, this isn't about becoming some kind of tech wizard or a prompt engineering genius. Nope, it's actually way more personal than that. It's all about checking in with yourself, being self-aware, and asking yourself some really honest questions.
Okay, let's start with these two big ones. First, are you using AI to draft that email just because the real conversation feels too hard, too awkward? And second, are you starting to notice that skills you used to be good at, I don't know, writing from a blank page or just doing some basic research, are they getting a little rusty? All because it's just so darn easy to outsource it now? And this next question, it gets at a really subtle trade-off. Think about it. So many of those great moments of connection, they come from struggling to figure something out together, right? Like brainstorming with a coworker or just calling a friend for advice. AI gives us the super smooth, easy alternative. But you gotta ask, what are we losing when we always choose the easy path?
And last but not least, what's this doing to our patience? I mean, getting instant answers from a machine, it can make us kind of intolerant of the beautifully messy, slow process of how humans actually learn. Are we losing our ability to just sit with a problem or to learn from another person who doesn't have the perfect answer right away?
So all of this leads to this really powerful and, yeah, kind of counterintuitive idea. In a world that is obsessed, and I mean obsessed with efficiency, maybe one of the most human things we can do is to consciously choose to be inefficient.
And these are the moments where it really counts. We're talking about creative work, where the struggle itself is what leads to the breakthrough. We're talking about conversations, where the goal isn't just to get an answer, it's to build the relationship. Or when you're learning a new skill for you, or making a big decision that has to come from your values. In all of those cases, the messy human process, well, that is the point.
Okay, so what does this whole balanced approach actually look like in the real world, day to day? Because look, this is not about rejecting AI altogether. Not at all. It's about putting it in its proper place. It's about creating a vision for what an AI-enhanced life really looks like.
So check this out. Here's a super practical model. Use AI for the routine stuff like meal planning or travel research. That's a clear win. Use it for that first creative spark when you're just totally stuck.
Go ahead, use it to help you draft a difficult email. But, and this is the important part, have the real conversation face-to-face. Learn topics and facts with AI, sure, but build actual wisdom by talking about those ideas with other people. You see the pattern? In every single case, AI is the co-pilot. It's never the pilot. And the really crucial thing to remember here is that this is not some rigid set of rules you have to follow. Your perfect balance is going to look totally different from mine, and it's definitely going to change over time as the tech evolves and as your own life evolves. This is your journey.
And because this journey really doesn't have a finish line, the real goal is to build a practice that you can stick with, something sustainable. It's all about how we keep navigating this crazy, fast-changing world year after year.
So, if you want to keep this sustainable, here's the deal. Stop chasing every single new app that comes out. Seriously. Instead, focus on the timeless stuff, like clear thinking. Let the real problems in your own life be your guide, not whatever the latest trend is. And hey, give yourself permission to just ignore the hype. And maybe most important of all, stay connected to your community, to other people who are trying to figure this all out right alongside you.
Look, if you only take one single thing away from all of this today, let it be this. This whole AI journey, it isn't about mastering the technology. It's about using the technology to become a more thoughtful, more intentional, and yeah, ultimately, a more human person.
And let's wrap up with this powerful reminder. All that stuff, your curiosity, your empathy, your creativity, your judgment, your humanity, that is, and it always will be, your most valuable and completely irreplaceable asset.
So I'm going to leave you with one final thought and a little bit of a challenge. This week, just this week, try to find one moment, just one, a moment where your first instinct is to reach for AI, and instead you consciously choose the human path. Brainstorm with a friend, call someone, or just struggle with the problem by yourself for 5 more minutes. That one little moment of inefficiency, it might just be the most important part of your entire AI education.